Today we have a $20 Dollar Tree haul for emergency preparedness and general prepping supplies. Welcome to Ridgehaven Homestead. From the mountains of Upper East Tennessee, we share snippets of our off-grid life, cabin build, and garden blessings. Pour yourself a cup of tea, sit back, and take a peek into our off-grid home and family. Today's focus on our budget prepping haul from the Dollar Tree is just basic things that we can add to our long-term prepping supplies that we can just have so that whatever kind of emergency comes, we can be a little bit more prepared. Now, we recently had tornadoes come through a little bit north of us, and if that taught us anything, it's that you can never 100% prepare for everything that could come, because the winds could come and sweep it all away. But there are certain types of disasters that having some supplies tucked away will help for, and so that's the kind of things that we are focusing on. I didn't know what they would have at the Dollar Tree this week. I was really trying to think about things that could be useful for us just for the long term. So the first thing that we got were these 4-hour emergency candles. There are 6 of them. They're supposed to last 4 hours, and they were $1.25. So this is how big they are. It seems pretty optimistic to me to think that this would last for 4 hours burning, but that's what it says. And so, hey, having these on our shelf is one backup plan that I kind of like, because you always need light. If the power goes out and your flashlights aren't, either the batteries aren't charged or you don't have batteries, you can always use candles. And so that is something to just keep on the shelf. It's going to last as long as you don't store it where it's going to get really hot. These things will just be there indefinitely. It says that 24 total hours of burn time. If you're going to have candles, it's a good idea to have matches. Matches are one of my top Dollar Tree prepping items, because at $1.25 for 300 matches, it's a really good deal. You can keep these in an airtight, like a Ziploc bag, watertight, humidity proof, and they should last you forever. So keep them with your candles. You can actually just zip these in a Ziploc bag, store them together, and then you don't even have to think about it, because you are going to bet that in an emergency you're going to be a little bit frazzled. So having things stored in a place that it's organized is really going to be a good plan. We have a bin in our pantry that we store like candles, matches, lighters, and stuff like that. In the same aisle, right next to the emergency candles, I picked up these LED emergency candles that are battery operated. So these do take 2 AAA batteries, which are not included. So there is a base that you can set them on, and then you just twist them and they come on. And since they're LED, they are going to provide a good amount of light. Now, I like this a little bit better. Even though you have to use batteries, I recommend getting rechargeable batteries. I really like this, and I'm going to be trying them out to see exactly how bright they are. But I like this idea, and this is the main reason. In the last few days, our area had some widespread power outages. We had several different storm systems come through, and because my mom, who lives about 30 minutes away from me, their power was going on, off. So they needed a backup plan, and they had plenty of candles, so they were using candles for light. No problem, except for some of the decorative flowers that were nearby accidentally ignited, and it caused a small fire in their house. And so, while I like these standard candles, I also like the idea of something that is either LED, electric, or something like that, where you don't have the risk of open flame. And then also having candles that will be in like a candle holder that is fireproof is also a really good idea, because having an open flame is always a little bit of a risk. So if you're going to have candles, just be sure to keep them attended. Word to the wise, always just keep an eye on your candles, because you never know what can happen. A cat can come over and knock something over, then boom, you have a fire. So we don't want that to happen. And thankfully they were okay. Another item that was in the same area was this push light. Now these are the little puck light. You can stick them under cabinets like this, and then when you come into the area you can turn them on. You can stick these right on the wall. You can put them in a closet. You can put them anywhere, and they're LED, so they are pretty bright. And then these take 3 AAA batteries, which are not included. I just like the idea of having these stick-em lights in random places where you know, so that you can find things if you need them. So put them in a strategic place for things that you need. This may seem like a strange thing for stocking up, but I really actually thought it was pretty useful. This is a pack of 120 zip ties. There's all different sizes from little bitty to quite large. Looks like the largest ones are 11 inches and the smallest ones are 4 inches. But there are 4 different sizes. There's 4, 6, 8 inches, and 11 inches. You can use zip ties for so many things, and you don't even have to be MacGyver. Zip ties are just super handy for when you need to hold something back, if you need to fix your tomato cages. They're actually really good in the garden, which I found, and then they're also good in your car. So I was thinking that I would probably divide this pack and put a certain portion of them in our vehicles. I don't know what they will be used for in a vehicle, because you just cannot anticipate every need, but when you need them, and it's super handy to have. And so there were different packets. They were like all black, and they were like one size, but it seemed like they were like 30 zip ties for $1.25, and this was 120. So I could not resist getting this so that we can have them. And I kind of like the bright colors. It's almost like neon colors, so they'll be easy to find. They're not going to blend in as well as if they're just black. I believe the only item that I got 2 of was these self-adhesive wraps. We have actually been using these, and so I wanted to replace them. Now, I believe that these are multi-use items as long as they don't get dirty. This is basically like the Coban tape, and it's like an ace bandage. It's that really wrinkly, self-sticking ace bandage type stuff, only it's like a plastic. It's like the most handy thing to find. Now, they did have some of this that was half as wide as like a tape, but it was just, there weren't that many square feet. And so I thought, if we need to use this for like tape, we can use this, and it's just more of it. So I got 2 of those. We've been using these to hold poultices in place when my husband has been recovering. We've been using them for mostly holding bandages in place. So I think they're really handy. And because they're $1.25 a piece, if you use them and they get kind of wrinkled up, or you don't want to fiddle with them, it's not a huge thing. I have actually been rolling ours up carefully so that I can use them again, because I just want to be able to have them on hand when I need them. How is this a prepping supply? It's just a regular old can opener. Now, they do have that all metal type with the like the old army type, but I decided to get this one that was slightly upgraded. I thought that this would be really handy to actually keep in our vehicles. There have been plenty of times when we have been out and had canned foods, either on a picnic or out stranded somewhere, and we have the cans, but we didn't have a can opener. And one time I was on a camping trip recently with a friend of mine, and we stayed in a place where the can opener simply didn't work. And so for $1.25, it's a great thing to just keep under your seat in the car. Just make sure you know where it is. Keep it in the glove compartment. And then if you actually are out and you get some food and you want to eat it and it's canned, you don't have to worry about if it's a pop top or not. You can just keep your can opener. And so I just think this is a really handy thing to keep in your prep supplies. There have been more than one time when we've needed something like that. I got a pack of these multi-purpose clips. They're like the metal clothespin type clips. We use these for holding chip bags closed and for things like that, but they're also really good. They're very strong, and so they will hold things in a pinch. If you need to hold a blanket up on a line for changing your clothes or something, I can think of lots of applications for this in a prepping and a camping situation. So I thought this was a great thing to have in an emergency supply kit. Okay, not necessarily a prepping supply, but something I do like to stock up on. It is kind of a disaster preparedness thing, because as long as you have water and a heat source, you can make pasta. So I've told you about this before, this brand Columbia. This happens to be the rotini. Well, instead of 16 ounces, they sell 20 ounces for $1.25. So it's a really good deal for their pasta. And so I just picked up one. It's always handy to have some pasta on the shelf because when you're in a pinch, it's an easy meal. You can add some tomato sauce and there you go. Okay, actually I did buy 2 of these onion powder. This is something I also like to keep on our shelves. So as we use them, we are replenishing them. I don't stock a lot of these ahead, but just to have a few on the shelf at a time is really helpful for me. So many things that you can season. They have lots of seasonings at the Dollar Tree. Everywhere around every store that I go to, the seasonings are going up in price and the sizes are going down. So it's as good a deal as any to get 2 ounces of onion powder for $1.25. Okay, one more thing that I grabbed was a pound of pinto beans. They don't always have any more beans by the pound. Most packages of beans at the Dollar Tree nowadays are in 12-ounce bags. And so this was the only type that I saw this time that was sold at 16 ounces. This didn't used to be the greatest price for beans, but it's not too bad now in today's economy. So I did grab one to replenish. I did cook pinto beans today, and so why not replace the ones that we ate so that we have a good supply. Emergency preparedness, car preparedness, and just general hygiene. I picked up a pack of the 72 wipes, and these are fragrance free. The last time I was there doing a stock up, I did grab another brand, and I thought they were going to be lightly scented. I think they were like aloe vera or something, but they turned out to be pretty smelly, pretty perfumey, and so these are fragrance free, and so I'm going to be keeping these in my car when I make a trash run, when we have a picnic, or just when we were out and about somewhere. If we got stranded on the side of the road, you can do a general wipe down with these wipes, and so I like to have something like this in my car that is fragrance free. That's important to me. I was almost at $20 and I had decided I was going to spend $20 today, and I just needed one more thing. So I grabbed this 4-pack of applesauce. Applesauce is something you can keep in your car. You can keep it in your emergency food supply. It's all sealed up. And so it's a quick snack, it's a quick addition to a meal. These are also great for throwing in lunches, but I was thinking more of long-term storage and long-term preparedness in things like emergency situations where you don't necessarily want to prepare something. Okay, so that is my haul this time. If we do little bits often, then we pretty soon find out that our supplies are getting stored up, and we can just feel a little bit more secure in the things that we have so that we can be a little bit more prepared for a disaster or an emergency that comes. You never know when we're going to need food on the shelf or medical supplies or any of these lighting supplies. So there's always a need. Disasters come through, storms come through, and you just never know when your power is going to go out. So it's really good to be prepared before the fact, and then you can just sit back and not worry quite as much. That's all for our haul today. I hope that you found something useful. If you did, please give us a like and leave a comment and let me know what types of things you're finding for your preparedness supplies from the Dollar Tree or anywhere else. Let's give everyone good ideas. We'll bounce ideas off of each other. And until next time, may God bless you, stay safe, and be well.